I want to move on. I want to talk a little bit about everything from inventory management and staff training and timeline optimization. So, Ryan, in your experience, especially when it comes to, I would say, staff training, timeline, especially, um, what improvements can or should be made, or that you and your team at Umoja have put into place to ensure optimization in terms of everything from inventory management and staff training to the timeline.
Yeah, yeah. It starts with the recruiting of the right team, getting that diverse background. Having folks that have experience in cell and gene therapy is really important. But as you think about advancing, how to apply things like machine learning, AI, you start to think about, well, let's bring in some expertise from the Amazon space, folks that know how to move things around warehouses and track them really well and efficiently. So it starts there, and then making sure that the team understands the bigger picture, the why. These products that we are making are saving lives, and to Ricky's point earlier, 99% of the success isn't good enough. And so really getting them behind the bigger mission, the bigger why of what they're doing, why the inventory management is so important. And I always try to remind the team that you know using expedited shipping should not be a standard of practice. You want to be able to plan ahead, not rely on that as a supply chain opportunity. It's really used for those really critical unknown unknowns that pop up. So the other area that we do from a training perspective is making sure that the team's cross-trained. So the ones responsible for scheduling, staging the shipments, the shipping validation studies, really educating them on what's being shipped, how it's being shipped, what technologies are keeping the material cold, really understanding that. And again, as you start getting diverse backgrounds on the team, that's really where the innovation starts to happen. They start asking questions about the why. And just because it's done this way before, doesn't mean we shouldn't be looking at new opportunities. And so ultimately, it's this team that's going to be on the call. When something wrong with shipping, they need to be able to go out and have those conversations and help the shipping partner when deviations occur. And so we really need to make sure that we're giving them the experience, the education, and the time for them to be able to train and really understand what we're doing. I think that from an overall timing perspective, the other kind of rule of thumb is that you just have to accept and recognize on the supply chain side that everything that certain time that you think it's going to take, just know that it's going to take longer. So build that in.
Sure, makes sense. And I like the idea of the sort of double and dual training of your team. That makes a lot of sense. Rookie, I wanted to get your thoughts on the same thing, from optimization of inventory management, timeline, and certainly staff training. What are some of the things that you and your team at BMS, or even in your previous positions, that you've learned best practices, and what our registrants can be doing to better optimize their timelines and staff training?
So, first and foremost, I'm fortunate to have a really incredible team that's got tons of experience and background in cold chain, in cell therapy, in dealing with the couriers that we use. And so I rely heavily on them to kind of own their space and to think holistically about what we're trying to do, so that we have the total package necessary to support these two commercial drugs. On the training aspect, I think it goes a lot bigger than what maybe most people are thinking. That training and that understanding of the product and the importance of maintaining the chain of custody, maintaining the temperature, getting it delivered on time, picked up on time, needs to go all the way through to the cargo handler working on the tarmac, at an airport somewhere in the world. And that's one of the biggest challenges. They see a box that's a 2-foot square box. It's not labeled in any special way usually. And to them, it's just another box that they're throwing on the airplane. Some of the things we've done in the past at other companies to kind of bring some awareness is we would go meet with some of the cargo Amazon, at Starbucks. We were shipping coffee. We were shipping decks of cards, things that don't really matter. If you can help your entire supply chain understand the importance of what they're handling, why it's important to, to do what they're supposed to do, with every box that comes their way, you have a better chance of that box getting where it needs to go on time. So I think the training, it's not just your own internal team. It's helping, like I said before, your regulatory team understand what are the supply chain challenges, not just what did you file and let's be rigid about it. It's helping the product stewards and the people that are developing new twists of a drug product you have or an entirely new drug product, understanding up front really early what are the normal supply chain challenges that we're going to have regardless of what this product is, and thinking about building something that's simple, efficient, and scalable. Doing that with your couriers as well, helping them understand, have a tracking system. This is what's important to us. We don't want surprises. When something is not going to be delivered on time or when it doesn't make a flight. Getting everybody on board to understand the importance of staying on schedule, and when it's not on schedule, what's the communication piece out there. So like anything in life, that communication, proactive communication, is so critical to getting these very, time sensitive, critical in cost and in nature